You're watching Telecom TV's exclusive video coverage of the Gen 15 event from Dallas. And I'm joined now by Axel Clauberg, who is VP Aggregation, Transport and IP Fixed Access at Deutsche Telekom. Axel, thanks for talking with Telecom TV again.
You're welcome.
When we look at Carrier Ethernet 2.0, we have the CE 2.0 certified services. How can the industry, how can telecoms build on those and use them as a foundation to create these dynamic connected services through LSO, SDN and NFV?
Indeed, Carrier Ethernet 2.0 is the foundation we're building upon. The change which is happening now with virtualization of network functions, SDN and LSO, is actually the way we are producing this and the way we're interfacing also to other operators building an end-to-end service.
So how do we combine these elements, LSO, SDN and NFV, in the network into one?
With Carrier Ethernet 2.0 we indeed have a great foundation, and we need to make sure that in the new production environment this actually works properly together. So here this is enabled through SDN and NFV, and we need to define the interfaces which are actually required to actually manage this and to deliver end-to-end services.
So is it a case of there's a lot of specification work still needs to be sorted out in order to get this the end-to-end? Because when you say end-to-end, we're talking a lot of different elements here.
Right, there's some specification work and there's implementation work as well. And the good news is that the two of them work hand in hand together. So in the old times, you typically had standards developed first and then implementation started. So we're implementing while we're specifying the standards. So which
increases or shortens the time to market?
Absolutely.
What can we do as an industry to encourage wider adoption of CE2 certified services?
Well, I think we're on the right track to promote this and to show the ease of running this business, and to have standardized interfaces also between the operators. And while some people say it's only lowest common denominator, it's the lowest common denominator indeed where you can build all the other services on top of. So it's just we need to continue evangelizing them here so everyone understands that message. And indeed, I think the market is changing.
So we hope so. When the operators do evolve their networks this way, what kind of services will we see being enabled?
When we look, for example, at virtualized CPEs, when we look at service chains that we can actually combine connectivity services with other value-added functions, whether it's security services, storage services, or communication services, that's actually entering a new market as well for the operators, a broader market with some larger revenue opportunities as well.
So this all sounds very disruptive for service providers, but I guess also the other side of the coin is it creates opportunities.
It is disruptive indeed, and it requires definitely changes to the way we're working, but indeed it creates opportunity, and it's worth it.
When we look at the evolution of technologies, when we discuss SDN and NFV, there's a move towards open solutions. When we talk about open, though, in this context, what are we talking about? What does open actually mean?
Very good question. So right now there's a lot of debate around open source, for example. We're using open source, for example, for the critical parts of the infrastructure where we don't want to have a single vendor dependency. So we're using OpenStack, we're using KVM as hypervisor, we're using Ceph for distributed storage. Now, for all of the network functions, I cannot follow an open source model. Here I need open interfaces which allow the network functions to integrate into the infrastructure and be managed and be orchestrated. And that's where organizations like MEF, like ONF are focusing on.
So really we're kind of providing a framework of using open source that we can then innovate within.
That's correct. So it's supporting, but it's not, let's say, taking the market opportunity for the vendors away who want to sell their closed source solutions as network functions in this context.
Great. Axel, as always, thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.